Hello, and welcome to my 2025 African American History Month Create a Sims. When selecting these figures to spotlight, I try to focus on the lesser known figures that we are impacted by their contributions daily. However, they may not be as well known. History is all around us and has an impact on our day to day life. I enjoy doing these videos because when I am looking for individuals to spotlight, I learn more about the figures that I thought I knew. So sit back and enjoy this video, and hopefully it will tell you something that you didn't know. Harold T. Pinkett was the first African American archivist at the U.S. National Archives, appointed in 1942. He graduated summa cum laude from Morgan College. He also attended Columbia University and received an MA in history from the University of Pennsylvania. At age 16, Pinkett matriculated at Morgan College, a Methodist institution. It was Maryland's sole liberal arts college. Educational opportunities, such as those offered at Morgan, provided both social mobility and prestige to African Americans. A Maryland state scholarship paid Pinkett's yearly tuition. He paid for his board by waiting tables at an Ocean City, Maryland hotel each summer. Black fraternities were an important vehicle for social mobility, and Pinkett pledged Omega Psi Phi at Morgan. The next 7 years would see him intertwining graduate training and professional employment, namely teaching. The Great Depression ensured that financial concerns loomed large in Pinkett's early career. First, he looked toward graduate education in history. The University of Maryland remained segregated, so Pinkett capitalized on a state-provided scholarship to begin graduate school at the University of Pennsylvania that fall. Living in Philadelphia with relatives to save money, Pinkett worked for the New Deal's National Youth Administration as a social investigator for the Public Defender's Office. He ferreted out information on accused persons' social backgrounds as well as on the circumstances for which they were tried. He thereby earned an extra $30 per month while attending to his studies. After only a year, he accepted a position teaching high school Latin in Baltimore, which he held for the next year and a half. Far from rewarding, given problems by student discipline, no doubt compounded by his youthful appearance and slight build, the experience shored up Pinkett's ambition to become a college professor. He returned to the University of Pennsylvania and completed his master's degree, but again, financial needs obtruded. Pinkett headed south to teach at Livingstone College. Livingstone College appointed Pinkett as a sabbatical fill-in for the 1938-1939 academic year. Once his appointment lapsed, Pinkett again turned to graduate school. As the University of Maryland remained closed to blacks, Pinkett matriculated at Columbia University. Even as he pursued his studies, Pinkett remained focused on his career opportunities. Notably, in the spring of 1940, he sat for the Junior Professional Assistant Civil Service exam. The exam called for fluency in history and social science, a sufficient incentive for Pinkett. He scored an 85.9 out of 100 on the exam. He, however, still hoped to complete his doctorate in history and enter the professorate. After a year at Columbia, financial concern once more pushed him into the workforce. Pinkett joined the faculty at a junior college, the Baptist-affiliated Florida Normal College in St. Augustine, where he taught history, government, and geography. On June 25, 1941, President Franklin Roosevelt issued Executive Order 8802. It prescribed discrimination in national defense industry employment and set up the President's Committee on Fair Employment Practices to monitor compliance. The committee broke new ground for African Americans in defense work, including at the National Archives. The next spring, Archivist of the United States Solon J. Buck reported that African Americans comprised more than 15% of National Archives employees. During his speech, he stated that he intended to continue to hire African Americans and appoint them to high positions by promotion and from the outside in steadily increasing numbers, consonant with the policy of getting the best employees available for all types of positions, regardless of race or color. He then mentioned the appointment of an African American, Harold T. Pinkett, to a beginning professional position, the first such appointment ever made by the archives. Pinkett began work on April 16, 1942, the 80th anniversary of the District of Columbia's abolition of slavery. During the latter part of his archival career, Pinkett was chief of the National Resources Branch, which held the records of the Department of Agriculture, the Department of the Interior, and the New Deal agencies such as the Civilian Conservation Corps and the Work Projects Administration. Pinkett contributed to the development of archival management in numerous capacities during and after his retirement. 3 mayors of the District of Columbia appointed him to terms on the D.C. Historical Records Advisory Board. Harold Pinkett's life enables an examination of 2 broader themes. Pinkett's life speaks to current diversity and inclusivity conversations in 2 ways. First, it illuminates the history and racial and ethnic diversity and inclusivity in the archival profession, particularly at the National Archives and in the Society of American Archivists. Archivists such as Harold Pinkett began to fight for diversity in the profession's early years. Pinkett's story shows the long-standing investment of African American archivists in increasing racial and ethnic diversity in collections and documentation. Over the course of his career, Pinkett argued strenuously for more minority representation at the National Archives, in the Society of American Archivists, and in the profession at large. The civil rights movement of the 1960s in particular stimulated the National Archives to effect special recruiting efforts. Before then, the profession included fewer than a dozen professional archivists of color. Exacerbating this shortage, few African Americans gravitated toward the archival profession, preferring apparently more prestigious and potentially more lucrative positions, namely those in academia. Pinkett lamented the glacial pace of professional diversification, particularly as more opportunities became available to African Americans and other minorities. The Society of American Archivists has an award presented each year, the Harold T. Pinkett Student of Color Award. Established in 1993, this award recognizes and acknowledges graduate students of color, such as those of African, Asian, Latinx, Middle Eastern, Northern African, or Native American descent, who through scholastic and personal achievement manifest an interest in becoming a professional archivist and active members of the Society of American Archivists. Thank you for staying to the end, and thank you for watching. What did you learn? Or was this just a reminder for you? Either way, I have more coming up. So have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll see you next week.